So, we don't have many viewers, that's fine, because I haven't been streaming in ages, since I really didn't have the time or energy for it. However, I will have a couple of free days up until the next Monday, so my hope is that I can actually work on the RC. But before I can do that, I need to test, or help test, some new things for SafeRx, because he needs that tested before he implements what I really need, which is an event that allows me to directly count fulfilled quota. So that thing isn't in yet, but my hope is that today we can take a look at some of the improvements that happened since the last stream. Hey Johanna, welcome. And I want to put this on YouTube, as in looking at the new features, and then I'm gonna split it and we'll play roads, the most current version, because it is in a way easier and also harder. I don't know how it's gonna go. We'll see. Anyway, there's been a guy on my Discord iPhone who's been playing roads a lot, and he struggles to reach the maximum fleet rating you can reasonably achieve, and maybe that's gonna help someone like that who wants to see what you could possibly do to make it, you know, as good as it gets, really. So that's the reason for it, for the roads play. Anyway, let's load into Augustus. I'm gonna shut off the music. Let's get the game running. And we'll take a look at all the new things that are in the mod since the last couple of weeks. Something like that. There is a lot. Hopefully we can reasonably cover that. We'll see. Let's give it a chance to catch up on the capture, because I had it set up last time. Yeah, it does work. So, the first thing, we've got some settings updates. So you now have a category of different settings, which this is useful because, you know, before you couldn't make sense of it since there was tons that was just in difficulty or city management, and now you have these little categories. Now keep in mind, this system is probably going to be expanded upon, further refined, you know, whatever have you. Also, another small thing, I still have a crappy Wi-Fi internet, so it's possible that we'll have some sort of interruption. If that does happen, it should come back online very quickly. I hope we won't have any, but you know, it could happen, so I'm just mentioning it right away. Same thing for if I show something and it breaks. We are using a test version, so it's not public yet, and therefore the testing implies that we are trying to find bugs, right? So, you know, just expect stuff to break, because it probably will. However, the most severe cases of the bugs have been ironed out, as far as I understand it, which is important. So the one thing that I did there was, I do not like this, so I will turn that off, the pavement of roads near the granary. I do not like that at all. So that's good. Show desirability, yes, nice. Arrangement, building reservoirs, fountains and wells. Building houses, yes. Desirability, preview paths. Partial grid is better than a full grid because it sears your retinas. Always show rotation buttons. I don't need that. It's like on the top left, it shows when you rotate something. I just know what kind of buildings I can rotate, so I don't need that. But you know, it's not super intrusive. We could keep that, I guess. This should be removed. Even the range of the market should be removed, because it's very artificial, and it doesn't even help interconnected cities anyway. There are further improvements to that later down the line, but this setting is basically an artificial limitation rather than anything. There might be something else. Show custom variables in the city view. Yes, that's going to be important when we play the roads map. This is a replacement asset for the health buildings menu. Might as well keep it. Scrolling. Oh, there's the top bar, which now displays a bunch of stuff. I do like to keep the old kind of split. Weather. We could play with weather a little, but I like it. I just don't like the desert weather, because the idea is that we'll be able to customize this eventually, because currently the sandstorm is super overpowering and it's just not very fun to look at. It's done for mobile devices, the rotation buttons. Yeah, I understand that, but I will not keep it on, as it's just, you know, pointless for me, but I understand it exists, just not for me or what I need. There was another thing. I need the Legion sound replacer. Where can I find that? Oh yeah, there's another set. Patricians, when they devolve, now they don't explode into 1,000 1x1s in a cursed place. It will keep cohesion, which is great. You can disable market range now. Should do that. These requests respect maintaining. So now you have a setting in your warehouse, which is like an imperial setting. And that means that requests can only take from that warehouse or granary where you allow it from. If you want to have that micromanagement, you can. But also events will prefer to take not from warehouses where it's not enabled, or they prefer to take from where it is enabled. Which means that you can now kind of set up on maps where there's heavy event use, you can make sure that they take from where you want and not from where you don't want. So that you don't, you know, create artificial logistics constraints. However, requests can still force take from your city if you don't have enough in the allowed warehouses, because requests shouldn't be limited by, oh, I don't want to send it. Like with a request, it's your call, but the events are more rigid. They should always be able to take from you, which is correct. Can adjust the intensity already, but the color marks aren't adjustable yet. Well, maybe I can adjust it, but not here, meaning I will not dig through the files to do that. I need that to be here. So, anyway, where was the replacer for the Legion signed? I need that in my life. Maybe I don't have the version with this for some reason. Oh, no, that it is. It's in general settings. It's very hard to find these sorts of things. So no longer, the noise, the horrible, awful noise that we've been subjected to for ages. Yeah, now it's gone. We don't have to have that. Yeah, it's good. Anyway, in order to show the things, we need to just play something. Doesn't matter what it is really. Just for testing, and then we'll play the actual map. I'm just gonna load one of those CCK maps. Oh, before we proceed, I should probably mention something. Just in case anyone is interested in being part of the community. So, let me show you something. Desktop. So this is my desktop. This is the Steam forum. On the Steam forum, there are not many people active because the game in general, the Steam version has issues. If you buy it on Steam, it won't work on modern OS, or if you use widescreen, so you have to get Julius. There are people there, there are 2 trolls on this forum. One of them just got banned, like yesterday. So I don't want to necessarily give attention to this user. However, it is important that we do mention this. So you see he's been temporarily banned. Now, why is it temporary? Because there's a bunch of stuff that just breaks conduct all the time. Well, it's because Activision owns the IP to this game and they don't have moderators. So it's up to the Steam to decide, moderation policy, and the policy they have is they lock threads and they will temporarily ban people who break the code of conduct, but they will not ban them permanently. So it's just a matter of time before this happens again. So it's this guy and this guy. Now, there's been a bunch of posts like this one. It's the same 2 people all the time. You can read through it if you want to. I'm not asking you to reply to them or talk to them specifically because it's trolls. They want attention, right? That's fine. What's not fine is that since the forum doesn't have much in terms of, you know, that many people frequenting it, what happens is these people have their posts at the top, and that is a problem. So what we want is for you to go there and just post about Augustus or Julius or generally what the mods gave you, and, you know, even if your experience isn't always perfect, whatever, that doesn't matter, as long as there is help for people who ask for it, because there are genuinely people who come to this forum like, oh, how do I fix this? How do I fix that? And then they see the trolls, right? That's the problem here. So what we want is so that they can get the help they need when they come here, the new people, and also that they see that we as a community care about this kind of behavior, and that we just, you know, want to provide as many different accounts giving their own account of how they experienced either RC or Augustus or Julius or whatever, and just to disprove this kind of bullshit. So anyway, that's just a short tangent regarding that. Oh, I don't think so. They have completely different viewpoints. One of them is talking about, oh, Augustus is too hard, and the other one is, oh, Augustus is too easy. Like, it could be, you know, you never know if it's the same person, but I doubt it. I doubt it. Anyhow, we shouldn't give them any more attention than that. So we are here on this map. It's not a great map. It's from the city construction kit. We are not gonna be sticking to playing on it for long. But what I do want to show you is the new things. So let's just place some housing near the entry. It doesn't matter. Now you see we have the repair area option. You can also designate clear tool on your hotkeys. Yeah, so I don't have to go into that menu anymore. If I want to just clear something, I can just use a hotkey instead. Anyway, let's make people move in. Now, there is a change which Sephirex made, which is that before your city has 10 people living in it, there is no accumulation of risk, which is just to make sure that, like on a desert, if the path is a bit long, that your stuff no longer burns down just before you can even, you know, address any of that, which is just a quality of life change. But it is pretty good, I think, needed. So we'll have this school here. Let's let it collapse. We should probably make some temples before the gods destroy the city. But we don't need to worry about any health or anything like that. And we are just waiting for the collapse to happen. Check the risks. There you go. So this collapsed, right? You click on it. Now you have this button right here, so you can repair it. And it's back. Now, it can be done with housing, it can be done with a lot of stuff. If you have like a bunch of destroyed palisades or whatever, you can just drag the repair tool over it and it will rebuild them. It does cost, I think, the same amount of money as if you were building it, by the way. So it's not like it costs extra. I do not know if the settings are capped. Let's get... Oh, there's no... Okay, let's get some timber in here. I need to see something. Doesn't matter who goes here. Hey, Articore, welcome. That's precisely what I'm trying to find out. I think it does, but we need to figure this out. So that's why I need to see. Let's copy that, paste it. Oh, there is the button. Yeah, I don't have the assets for some reason. So well, that's gonna be a roadblock. I don't know if I get access to the assets. Let me check that. Assets. I'm gonna write Seth if he's around. Anyway, in the meantime, we can just, you know, use this. It's not like it prevents anything. So there is the Imperial Advisor, or sorry, Imperial Advisor, Imperial Permission. So you can make sure that the requests only take from specific warehouse organizers, and events will prefer to take from those which have it on. Stefan says, also got a bunch of roadblock icons, don't ask about it. But it's because you're missing assets. You need assets. Seth will send me the assets. Anyway, this depot, you see, even this is, you know, it was missing. Yeah, I don't have the list expanded here. I don't think. Yeah, we'll have to wait until that is fixed to see how it should look like. So, you know, you could already designate between an inactive building in this version. I just need the asset to show it, but if your warehouse is still not active yet, you can still make the depot go there, which is kind of useful. So now this is collecting timber from here and it's going here. Great. Now what I want to do is not protect it from damage and see it collapse. It's gonna get me a while to get used to some of that. What I want is to protect these from collapse, but not the depot. Just for the purpose of testing it. Okay, so the depot's been destroyed. This was the worst thing about losing buildings to like an invasion or collapse or fire or wherever. You just had to redo this. Well, you don't have to do that anymore, which is pretty good. Now with houses, you also should be able to rebuild with a click like that, if it's a win. So neat, that's nice. Now what is in here is there should be tooltip style full. Well, it doesn't do anything currently because I need the asset. Let me check. Okay. Seth sent me the asset, so I'm just gonna shut down the game and we'll load back into it in a second. And Seth sent me another build where I can repair farms, apparently. Okay. I'm gonna have to wait until the pasting is complete, so I'm just gonna run some music in the meantime, I guess. Can you point to the assets or share them on Discord? I'll put them in the testing channel on the dev server. But generally, if you see roadblocks instead of something, that just means you are missing the assets. Because that's what happens if you like get the unstable but then you don't get the assets. So that's exactly what that is. Well, the file is over the size limit. So what am I gonna do about that? Let me get a sharing site. Because you can't test it properly without the assets, is the thing. Here. It's on the dev server. Seth is here. I'll add them on Discord in the same channel as them. Yeah, I figured out it's too large for the Discord, so I just put it on a link. No problem. Anyway, what were we talking about? Yeah, I need to get the last build. Alright, so let's get another save. So we can repair the depot. Now we see some new icons. So there is copy building settings, paste building settings. We already do that with hotkey, but if someone doesn't have a hotkey and they just really don't want a hotkey, they can use this, which is good, because otherwise it would be really difficult. Now, one minor thing, Seth, I'm sure that, you know, Aurelier could do this, but don't you think that these don't fit this? What I would like is if you had like a stone slab with inscription, or like a, you know, that and that, it would probably could be done where it kind of makes more sense, like one slab, two slabs or something. It's a setup for having more than setting to copy and paste. What? I don't know what you mean by that, but I use a hotkey, and if you don't use a hotkey, then obviously this will be useful for people who don't. It's supposed to be in a style of center camera button. Ah, this. Yeah, but it's next to this. This is just a minor thing. Anyway, so we rebuilt that. It kept the settings. If I click on what resource it gets, there's nothing new. If I click on which to get from, accepting storage buildings. So these are the buildings that already accept this good. If I build that in the warehouse, you see that it's not active yet. It doesn't have the baskets. It doesn't have the labor. But you know, we can already designate that, I think. Or does it need labor? I can't select it. Because it doesn't accept the goods yet, but what I can do is I can go into the settings of this warehouse from there and just make sure that we accept the timber. And then it shows up down here. Now, it would be cool if you could also tell that this doesn't have labor yet. Basically imagine that instead of being able to hold one setting in memory, you get 3 slots. Right. I guess that's useful. Can't really... You know, I normally don't do that. I pick what I want and then I paste it. I don't know how I would cycle through all three. What is that? Why is that there? It's gold. What does that mean? Oh, the... What is this? And there is another bit of stuff here. It's probably the assets leaking in, right? This isn't supposed to be like that. I suppose that's a bug. Do you want to save? I guess you could just replicate this, right? I'm gonna wait for an answer. So yeah, what you can do is you can go into this. Is scrolling. Ah, so it's offset or something. Yep. From the original window, that's right. But you can change settings from this screen now, and you can also center it if you want. So these are, you know, quality of life things. Anyway, do we have anything new? I want to check the new. Yeah, okay, no problem at all. That's why we are testing. What I do want to see is a save where I have some forts. So now it's just marching. It's not as good as the Hawkins replacer, but it's infinitely better than the autistic noises, you know, the ones I mean. No, I do not want to hear them. So good. Also, something else. We can return to for everyone. So like, if we have a fight, right? We had a fight, we had everyone deployed all over the place. And now I just, I have to go into my advisors and I have to go into here and I have to click this button. Yeah, no, you don't have to anymore. You can just do that, which is, you know, pretty good. I know, copyright issues, but it's also infinitely better. It's fine. It could be worse. It could be the you know. So I'm grateful for that at least. Anyway, that's that. Is there something else that's new? There is, I think we've shown this, that is the mothball icon. If building is inactive, it will have the mothball icon above it. So you can just, you know, kind of see what is working and what's not working. Which is good. At a glance, of course. Something else. The settings, the imperial setting for the for this. So requests like this pottery, right? This pottery is available for taking. I need to find where the pottery is. So like, for example, I wouldn't want the request to ever take from my consumption destination or a source. So I would not do that. It doesn't then update the number of the goods that you have available. So like if I disable this, then I can't, you know, it shows like I can't send it. But it still doesn't update the number. It just tells me, oh, you can't send it because it's disabled. Yeah, I know, but you know, storing wouldn't help in this case. Because there should be like, oh, we have enough, but settings prevent us from sending it whatever on a hover if it's the case, probably. Because otherwise I could see people reporting, oh, my request don't work. It's because you pressed this button and you made everything offset. You can add tooltip, yeah. That'd be good. Again, not something that is super necessary, but probably would help because I can already imagine all the screams. So yeah, good. And events can still take resources from your city, but they will try to take from allowed warehouses or granaries first, which is good. That's what you really want to see. Anyway, so is there anything else that's new in Augustus since we last checked the trader pathing update? I need to figure out if there was something else. There's custom variables. On some maps, you can now have the map maker display custom variables to you. And that's what I'll show today with playing Roads, which is a custom map I made, and it's on Haven. And that should be, you know, that should be useful. On that map specifically, it's gonna actually make that even viable. But I don't think there is anything else to show. So what we'll do is we'll split this first part of the stream into its own video, just to, you know, have a showcase of one by one the features that I knew. There are new improvements on the way as well, but no information on that just yet. We'll see what the devs end up with adopting. But I'll be back with Roads in a second.